What Central Carolina Community Foundation doing this Midlands Gives is a great thing for our community. We've done this for 5 years and raised $5.5 million. It brings all the nonprofits together. Whether you're big or small, have a huge following or a small following, you all get to have a voice today and the opportunity to promote the good that you do for our community.
Midlands Gives is just one of the initiatives JoAnn Turnquist leads as President and CEO of Central Carolina Community Foundation, based in Columbia. Leading the foundation reflects her vision.
I would define my overriding vision as lifting as I climb. I think there are two aspects to that statement. The first is climb. To aspire to be the best that I can be, to achieve as much as I can, but while doing so, to ensure that I'm helping other people overcome barriers, overcome obstacles, really be the best that they can be.
Turnquist puts into motion her philosophy of lifting as she climbs through her work at CCCF. It's a foundation serving 11 counties in the Midlands with over $140 million in assets. The foundation invests with donors about $13 to $15 million annually in nonprofits. By way of disclosure, I served on the board of CCCF for more than 5 years.
We are very focused on three key things. First, working with charitable individuals who want to make a difference. We invest their funds and we help them find organizations that are making a difference. The second is we invest in our community, primarily in connecting community. And lastly, we are a convener. We help people collaborate around key issues because we don't have a dog in the hunt, but we do have funds to invest, so people usually answer our call to come join us.
And that call to come join us is evident in Midlands Gives, whose funds support more than 370 nonprofits in the region.
It says that people care. It says that people are learning that you don't have to be Bill Gates or Oprah Winfrey to be a philanthropist, that when a community comes together to support the nonprofits that are making a tremendous difference, we can do incredible things. $1.8 million in 24 hours? Holy moly.
Now, I do have to say, I remember there was one year where there was a glitch in the online. How did you overcome that? People weren't able to go online for a period of time.
No, the platform that we were using, in fact, we in numbers of communities across the country, crashed. It crashed in the middle of the day, and no one could make a gift. So, took a deep breath, said to my team, how can we fix this? Within an hour, they had another platform. We reached out to our sponsors who said we will continue to support the nonprofits. I spoke on television, spoke to nonprofits, tried to keep everyone calm, and off we went.
And as I recall, you met or exceeded your goal.
We did.
JoAnn Turnquist has led the foundation for a decade, but her roots were in the corporate world.
The turning point in my life was when I went to work for the Clorox Company, and I was entrusted with running a brand new product rollout with very little direction. And what that did for me was to build confidence that I could do things that I had never done before, that I could make a difference in the future of my company, and that anything was possible.
You've held roles with a number of Fortune 500 companies, including Clorox. Why did you decide to make the move into the nonprofit area?
It is a big change. My husband Ernie and I don't have children. And as you move into your 50s, at least for me, thinking about legacy became more critical. And while it's fabulous to have a great career and watch people around you succeed, the opportunity to give back to a community, to have make a difference in a different way, to see the impact of your work on communities was the driving reason for me to make the change.
After the flood of 2015, you actually expanded what Central Carolina Community Foundation does with a fund that would serve victims of the flood statewide.
It did. We established a fund the day after the floods hit the Midlands of South Carolina. And the initial mission was to support nonprofits who were helping with recovery and relief in our 11-county area. 2 weeks later, Governor Haley reached out and asked if we would take on supporting the entire state, and we said absolutely yes. So the 1SC fund was born, and we went to work. The governor was very instrumental in helping us raise money, and since that time, we have invested over $3.6 million into relief and recovery. We have helped close to 19,000 families return home. And with this most recent disaster, Hurricane Florence, we have raised close to $1.8 million and have already started deploying grants to those communities that were really, really hard hit.
Although Turnquist has worked in the nonprofit world for many years, she still draws from her corporate days. One of the big issues was balancing work and life.
I was in an industry that was predominantly male, and I was always the only woman executive on the team. So the expectation was that I could be there as long or longer than the men, that I should be there as long or longer than the men, work days, and that I should pull more than my weight, which made it tough having a life and having a relationship and wanting to be involved in other things. I think the secret to having work-life balance, especially today, is to say, when you're hired, to say to your managers, to say as you go up the ranks, that these are my boundaries. This is what I will do for the company. I will excel. I will help us succeed. But I will also excel and succeed at being a mom, at being a wife, at being a volunteer.
But is it the case today that women still have to work harder in order to be successful? Because women are still not making as much money as men, for example.
I believe that women believe we have to work harder to prove ourselves. I have seen it over and over again that unless a woman is 95% certain that she can do something, she won't raise her hand and say, I can take that promotion. Whereas oftentimes a man, at 55% of certainty, will say, absolutely, I can do that. So I think part of that is internal. I also think part of that is cultural, that oftentimes we aren't given the credit to take the risk.
And do you think that's going to change a lot in the next, say, 10 or 15 years?
I believe it will change if women exert confidence, if women help one another, if networks are built, because those key networks help overcome a lot of those obstacles. And we're getting better at building that new girls network to compete with the old boys network.